mic up. This is legacy in motion. For vision of victory, trailblazing the path. Mind sharp, words heavy, every bar got class. Iconic by nature, pioneer by design. History in the making every time she aligns. Doctorate dreams, but the roots run deep. Built from the grind, now the whole world speaks. Culture, purpose, power when she steps in the room. Drop gems so real, make the future zoom. Yeah.
This is iconic pioneers. Hear the story unfold, where the fearless lead and the truth gets told. Every voice legendary, every lesson precise. Hosted with wisdom, Dr. Tabatha Russell on the mic. Press play. Stay ready. The movement starts now.
Welcome in, everyone, to Iconic Pioneers, the space where disruptors, trailblazers, and bold thinkers gather to rewrite the rules of success. I'm your host, Dr. Tabatha Russell, and on this show, we go deep with those who aren't afraid to lead differently, those who are building legacy, impact, and authority that echoes for generations. Can I just say, on today, I have the amazing opportunity to be interviewing Dr. Latoya Abram-Payton, right? Can I just say that she's a whole drink of water by herself? Dr. Payton, thank you so much for being here on today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are most welcome. If you will, go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience on today.
All right. My name is Dr. Latoya Abram-Payton. I am a wife, a mother of 3, a teacher of 25 years, excuse me. I have 2 businesses, e-commerce and a nonprofit, but it serves one purpose, and that's to serve children and families.
Yes, I love that. Y'all hear that? It's all about service, right? We're going to make it happen. So we're going to jump right into this interview on today. So Dr. Payton, please, if you will, tell us, what does being an iconic leader mean to you personally?
Being an iconic leader means that I can lead with love, and I have the answers. Look, I have the answers, and just overall helping people.
Yes, I love
starting that with love.
Come on now. Come on. Can y'all tell that she's a teacher? Yes, right? She's going to make sure that you get all the steps in there and the answer, okay?
Yes,
Tell us about a defining moment when you realized that you weren't built to follow the crowd.
Oh, okay. So the past 3 years, as stated before, I've been a teacher for 25 years, and I've always taught in a Title I school. And about 3 years ago, every time I teach kindergarten, by the way.
Okay.
Every time I would drive onto campus or walk into my classroom, there was always a tug that says there's more. And as a teacher and fellow teachers out there, you already know how it is when you're working. When you're not off those summer months, when you're off those summer months and you go back into working, you're engulfed with those babies. You're focusing on those babies. You're making sure that they get what they need. And I was kind of putting my business on the back burner, And I felt that, as I stated before, Payton Place and Accepted Prosperity both serve the same purpose, which is helping children and families. But by the time I got home, I was tired.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't take off like I needed to if I had an event or something like that. So the defining moment was this year, June 10th. I put in my resignation, and now I am stepping out on that phase and working my business with services and products.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And I definitely can understand wanting to be present for the children while you're there in the classroom. But now you get the opportunity to be fully present in your business. So, over the course of time, with let's just say putting your business together, I know that every leader faces some sort of resistance. So, what's one obstacle that almost broke you, and how did you overcome it in the business realm?
Yes. So, well, my business was started in October of 2020.
Okay.
That was a month before COVID.
Yeah.
And I was in production in China. And by the time my production was finished, my manufacturer called, and the tariff and the taxes had quadrupled.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to get this product that I've been working so hard on for about a year? And how I'm going to get this, how financially, how am I going to get it over here? And just by the grace of God, it happened, and I was able to launch May of 2021 on Mother's Day. My
Okay.
first product in Peyton Place is called the Comfy Bath Kneeler. Use it at the tub for your convenience when doing anything at the bathtub. It protects your elbows and your knees.
Okay.
So, I got it over here, got it in my warehouse, and I've been selling them ever since. So
Oh wow.
that
That
was the
definitely
obstacle. I
that
was afraid I
definitely
wasn't gonna get it here, but
that's right.
I got it here.
That's right. I definitely do understand the COVID. I will say, basically took all of us through a whole redesign of how we knew things would work,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And
yes.
I too got caught up in trying to get things shipped here and all of that.
It was
So I
madness.
definitely do know that as far as being a business owner, though, we got to be able to pivot on our feet,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like literally as we're moving, as we're
Mhm.
going, just so that we can make sure that we are putting things back into place. So, how do you balance building wealth, influence, and impact without sacrificing your authenticity?
Ooh, that's a good one. I just keep my why in the forefront,
Okay.
and my why is my family.
Mhm.
I wanna break that generational curse and create generational wealth for my
Yes.
children's children,
Uh-huh.
children. Get my
That's
children.
right.
And so I can't put, I gotta have I have to have the end game in mind, and I also have to have my why in mind. And
Mhm.
if I have those two things, it keeps me going.
Yes, I love that. And it definitely does make a difference when you are focusing in on your why, right? Like that
Mhm.
a lot of times is the center focus of what keeps us going when we're not having the best of days, right?
Yeah.
But I also know that being able to leave something so big for our
Yeah.
children's children, right? That's a lot.
It's a
Um,
lot.
but when you have that passion, that drive, it definitely does make it easy, right?
Yes, it
So,
is.
what's a myth about leadership or success that you believe needs to be dismantled immediately?
A myth is that you should not do it alone, that I can do it alone. You can't do
Mhm.
everything alone.
Right.
You have to find a good team. You have to find someone who's reliable. And I always go by seek counsel and not
Mhm.
opinion.
Mm.
Because when you seek counsel, you're getting those answers that you need. But when you're seeking those opinions, you start to have that self-doubt. And
Mhm.
you start to second guess yourself and say, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this really what I need to do?
Mhm.
So it when I say seek counsel and not opinion, it could be like a twofold thing,
Mhm.
far as the opinion in itself, because I sell products.
Mhm.
So if my products isn't selling to that market, that means that's just not my target market. That's
That's
just
right.
not my niche right now. So I
Right.
need to pivot.
Mhm.
So when I seek counsel, I'm getting those expertise in and helping me with my business to further along where I need to be. And the
Mhm.
opinion, I'm trying to keep everybody's opinions out And also, I'm trying to listen to their opinions too, because that can help me also pivot my business.
That's right.
So it's kind of work a twofold thing again.
I love it. I love it. So I heard a saying a long time ago that it wasn't until I got older that I really understand what it meant. And it would say, eat the meat and throw away the bones, right? And I'm just like, what does that? And then when I found out what it meant, it was just like, oh my goodness, it makes so much sense, right? Take the parts that is relevant and the rest of it, you
Throw it
don't need
away.
it, right? But then I also operate from a standpoint of a coach needs a coach, a leader
Hmm.
needs a leader, a
Yeah.
consultant needs a consultant, because let's just face it, we don't know everything, right?
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
when we have the opportunity to connect with those that's doing what we want to do,
Yeah.
that seemingly has created a pathway or made it to a certain level, it definitely does allow you to be able to glean in the garden, right? To
Yes.
be able to
Yeah.
get some really good information that can help you to go to the next place. Because for me, for example, someone had the opportunity to ask me a question just over the weekend about, do I have a coach? I'm like, yes, I have
Yes.
multiple
I'm
coaches,
about
right?
to say I have a lot.
Yes, I have three coaches. And the reason why that is that being a serial entrepreneur, you have different phases
Yeah.
of things that you have going on a regular basis. And so it helps me now to have somebody in my corner that I can bounce some ideas off
Oh,
of.
yes. Oh,
And
yes.
I'm at a place now where I have folks that have $1 million problems, right?
Yes.
That they can help me to navigate those areas in such a way that we get real results. So it
Yes.
definitely does make a difference. So thank
Yes.
you for sharing that as well.
Yes.
So I know that your success leave clues. So what daily habits or rituals keep you operating at an iconic level?
Oh, I meditate. And I write down my daily goals. I have daily goals, I have weekly goals, I have monthly goals, yearly goals, 5-year goals. But the most important thing is I meditate and I
Mhm.
hone in on what I need to do for that day. And
Mm,
then when the day ends, I meditate again. I see what works, what didn't work, what I need to pivot, and try to do it all over again.
mhm.
So with me having the right mindset, it helps me gain those goals throughout the day and those small wins. And
Yeah.
eventually those small wins will compound into something great.
I love that. Now, I noticed that you mentioned about having products that you sell,
Hmm.
right? What was your motivating driver for selecting the type of products that you sell?
Okay, so in 2014, I was in a horrific car accident.
Mm,
And it really changed my life. Things could have went another way. I survived that accident, but I didn't survive the aftermath. I was very
mm,
depressed. I was very lonely, even though I had a house full of people in the room. I just started to work on me because I knew there was something better out there for me and my children.
mm,
And so when I started working on me, I started finding those mentors and getting into the meditation spirit and just putting my best foot forward. And I found a wonderful program that was very intensive to help me um, build my e-commerce store
mm.
from the ground up. So it gave me those tools, and I worked it out. I had questions, had to seek counsel, and I finally was able to get my products on Amazon on page one. So that was a
Mm.
very fun and defining moment. And I'm no longer on Amazon, but that was my starting point and my pivotal point when I decided to take my products off Amazon and put it on my website.
Ooh, so, wait a minute. You mentioned about taking your products off of Amazon and putting it on your own website. So, my questions have questions, right? What made you make the shift?
Okay, so really Amazon is really a gambling food. If you really get into the technical things like in your back office, you have to basically bet on your keywords. And if you don't bet on your keywords or your competitor keywords, you're not putting what's called a buy bag. So imagine you in a circle with all your competitors around you. If you don't bet on your keywords and if you don't bet on their keywords, you will get placed out of the buy box and you won't be able to be on page one, page two, page three, not even page four. You'll be all the way down on the index level. So when your customer comes and search for you, you will not be visible so they can be able to purchase. So it was kind of draining my pockets because I had to bet daily, multiple times a day to make sure I stay relevant. And I just felt that, okay, let me take this product off Amazon and put it in my store so I can have a little bit more control of how I sell it.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So you mentioned about your warehouse. So you do shipping as well?
I do. Pick, pack,
Okay.
ship. Yep.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So let's talk about a couple of those products that you have as well, because I know you mentioned about the bath time product there as well. But what's a couple of the products that you have?
Okay, so I have three. The first one is the Comfy Bath Niller. I was able to go on a syndicated show called America's Big Deal on USA Network in 2022, 23, and I
Mhm.
was able to sell 750 units in 90 seconds. I was so happy.
Yeah.
And so then once I did that, I was like, you know what, I want to add because I help new and experienced mothers.
Mhm.
So the Comfy Bath Noodle was a big blast. It was a big hit. I was like, let me keep this momentum going. So now I
Mhm.
have a baby bag that converts into a bassinet or either a changing port for your baby. And I realized and I pulled this out because I know how it was when my kids were little, and I didn't want to put it on no one's bed, put the
Mhm.
baby on no one's bed or no one's couch or anything like that. So I fine tuned the baby bag that converts into a bassinet or a changing station, so you can just have your baby right there beside you. Or if it's sleeping, it's fine. Or when it gets a little older, a little bit about 4 months, um, maybe don't have them go to sleep in it, but you can still change them and everything like that. And
Mhm.
then my last product that's so near and dear on my heart is I am an author. I write children books, and the children books that I have because I noticed that children are so tech savvy these days. They can work a phone better than me and you.
That's right.
So, and they kind of fell out the love of reading. So I decided to merge the two and make it a literacy meets emotional intelligence because
Mhm.
once they download the app and they scan the illustration, they're able to it pops up and becomes augmented reality and it's interactive, it reads to them and it helps them gain that emotional intelligence that they need. And then I have a stress ball and it's a whole program because I have a curriculum and a workbook that goes with it also.
I love that. I love that. That is so amazing. And of course, writing children's book is right up your alley with teaching,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So of
it
course,
is.
you
It
have the
is.
opportunity to be able to lean into that. And then the other two products that you created are definitely something that's needed
Yes.
as well. Because I know for us, we have four sons and a daughter.
Hmm.
Everybody's grown and gone now, but I can definitely say that when their children come over, like our grandbabies, it's just like, oh my goodness, there's no deep couch sitting, right? So
So
you definitely need the items that you have to
thank you.
offer. So we talk a lot about leadership, luxury, and legacy here. Now, I know earlier you talked about your why being your children. What other legacy are you intentionally creating for the generations to come?
Okay, so I have a nonprofit called Accepting Prosperity Inc. And over my 25 years of teaching, I realized that my children were coming to school with no underwear, no t-shirts, no socks in the dead of winter. And it's not that they just didn't have it on, they just didn't have it. The
Mhm.
families just didn't have it. I've always taught in a Title I school. It's the parents deciding, okay, is this essential worth me purchasing right now? Or is gas or food to put on my family's table?
Mhm.
So they had to choose. So I want to be the one that help them with those essentials and build essential kits. So within the kits that comes with underwear, t-shirts, socks, deodorant, pads, anything that goes underneath, I try to provide for them. And I just since I stepped down my role of teaching in the public sector, I am now an ambassador to the United Nations in the education department, and I have adopted a school in Ghana. So my initiative goes very broad because I figured like this. It, whether it's across the street or across the ocean, dignity is dignity. And it takes a village to help with this cause. You know, I can't, of course we can't do it alone. And so that's why I have the initiative. And I'm actually working on a gala right now. Is in the very beginning stages, but I want to have one next year to raise monies for Ghana, the school in Ghana, and then I want to adopt 3 schools in my surrounding counties to help fund that initiative.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That is so awesome. And, having the faith to step out to be able to do that is absolutely amazing. Because,
Thank you.
look, you have time now.
I got time.
I love that. I love that. So, how do you personally define luxury as a leader? With us talking about leadership, luxury, and legacy here on the show, luxury, I find, has a very interesting meaning to most of us. But give us your definition of luxury as a leader.
Luxury as a leader for me is self-care.
Hmm.
Taking time for me. I know, being an entrepreneur, you're in it. Sometimes, most of the time, you're in it alone, especially with small business, and you can let things get away by you trying to handle all different type of tasks throughout the day. But I try to at least try to take self-care, even if it's a number of hour, just to sit there and just let me regroup, maybe get on social media for a little bit, just to kind of, and set your timer because it'll set you up.
That's right. That's right.
Or either I'll call my masseuse up. I'm like, come on, like I need a massage, to fit me in.
Mhm.
Or I call my chef and I ask her, can you just make me this meal that I've been having taste for? So taking time out for yourself is luxury,
Mhm.
and those are things that I look forward to when I'm in the grind of things. I was like, okay, yeah, I know in about an hour I can take a breather, or I can call somebody up and be like, okay, let's go for a walk. But that self-care is so important because if your mind is not right, your business is not going to be right.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And it definitely does make a difference. I am a huge proponent for self care.
Yeah.
One of the things that I practice is a 20 to 25-hour work week,
Yeah.
right? So that allows me the opportunity to be able to work on the things that are essentially important because I believe that we should not be trying to pour from an empty basket, right?
Can't.
So, right. So self care allows us that opportunity to pour back into ourselves
Yeah.
and work on self development where needed. So
Yeah.
that way we have the opportunity to be able to go forward. So I agree with you that self care is huge. That's on the top of the
Top
list
list.
for sure. So, what's the boldest risk that you've ever taken in your career and how did it reshape your trajectory?
The boldest risk is stepping out on faith and leaving my 9 to 5 job. Well, I would say 9 to 9 job because I'm a teacher. It's not that I'm not afraid of hard work. It's afraid of not being able to take care of my family as needed. Because I was dependent on a healthy check.
Mhm.
But I decided, there is more. Things will come. Things will happen. You just have to figure it out. Figure it
Mhm.
out. So
Mhm. Absolutely. I believe as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, we definitely need to be resourceful
yeah.
for starters. And entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart, right? I
It's
tell
not.
tell everybody that at one point, part of my story is I made one decision, lost $500,000, the house, the cars, all the things, and my sons were small at the time. Right?
Please don't tell me that.
So that's not everybody's story, though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And having the ability to pivot, because
Bounce back.
I knew that I could go back to corporate America, make six figures, get some insurance, and take care of my babies, which is what I did for a period of time. So I learned how to really navigate that season running. Like literally, it went by so fast that Coach was just like, "Wait, what?
Yeah, what happened? Wait a minute. Are we really here right now?"
Really. And my sons having the opportunity to go through that all together, and just really keeping them in step with where we were going, what was happening, all the different changes allowed us to go through it together and come out on the other side stronger, right? Yeah. So it definitely does make a difference. I mean, at one point I owned a child development center. Okay. Right. And so within that center, I had 120 kids, the whole teacher staff, a dietitian, the director, all the things and all the moving parts. And it's like my day started at 4:30 in the morning, and it did not end until 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, because we did transportation and all the things. And you talked about that Title I school. Yes. I really want you to go back to that for just a moment, because I don't think that people really understand what that means. They hear Title I, and usually a one is good, right? Like it's like you first. However, that's not always the case. And I personally would go to some of the children's, because we did after school programs as well. We did from infancy up to school age, and then after school also. So when you talked about the children coming in and them not having some things, sometimes we would see them first. Yeah. So I bought washer and dryer in the facility to make sure that we could get them straight before they left. We did hair. I mean, all the little extra things to make sure that those babies were taken care of. So let's talk just for a moment about Title I schools and why it's so important that we, as a community, like you said, lock in and help with support for those schools. So talk about Title I for just a moment.
So Title I is, and I may not be giving like the definition, but to me, Title I is the lowest of the low. Parents that don't have any skills, because what you don't know, you just don't know. You think you know, but you don't know. And then that trickles down to that generational curse. The children's doing what the parents have done, and the parents have done what their parents have done. So it's just like a never-ending cycle. They may be dealing with domestic violence. They may be dealing with sexual abuse. They may be dealing with hunger, homelessness, and they have all these things going on top of on top of going to school, trying to make good grades and things of that nature. And so Title I to me is just the lowest of the low. People of poverty, people that really don't have the tools or the means of being sustainable in life. And it's really sad. It's really heartbreaking to see some of these babies go through what they go through. I have really, really quickly. I don't do this anymore. We was going around the school, going around the room. It was Christmas time, and we was getting kids riled up of beating Santa and getting gifts and things like that. So it was going around the room, asking them what they want, And the little girl, she put her head down. Second grade, was 7, 8. Second grade, put her head down, and I was like, "What's wrong, baby?" She was like, "I just want my mama lights to be on." Oh, and I was like, "Man, that is so powerful," because when I was 7 to 8, I didn't know what a bill was. Right. Some of these babies are just going through, and that's why I try not to ask that anymore, because you never know who's going through what. So. Yeah, that's Title I.
That's right. Well, and that's the thing, though, is that those are sometimes some of the conversations that we don't have around kind of what's going on. But you being there, boots on the ground, actually in the classroom, getting the opportunity to experience that is just really amazing that you have the heart to be able to do that. But then now, after you have left such a long, thriving career, that you're going back and you're still serving through your nonprofit. And I think that that's really good. So for those who are listening on today, who feel called to lead but question their power, what's your message to them?
Okay, so I always, whenever I'm whenever I'm speaking to someone, when I'm on a talk on a stage, I always end by this, and please repeat after me. Whatever I think I am,
Whatever I think I am,
I'm always so much more.
I'm always so much more.
That's good. Let's say that one more time. Whatever I think I am,
Whatever I think I am,
I'm always so much more.
I'm always so much more.
And I want to leave that because you are always so much more. You are more than what you do, what your position is right now. So if you're going through something, you're always so much more.
That's right.
You can get through. Because I spoke on the stage and I spoke about strength, fear and strength. Fear is gonna come, but strength is what pulls you through. And strength is not always loud. It's just being able to do it again and again and again. And and sometimes fear doesn't show up as, it shows up as procrastination or perfectionism or waiting on the right time.
That's right.
But you got to have that strength to pull you through and to know that everything's going to be okay. Once you think about it and build your courage up to move on from that situation.
Yes. Well, look, I absolutely love having had the opportunity to interview you on today. You definitely have a lot of amazing products that I can definitely see is going to be flying off the shelves, as well as your nonprofit with giving back to the babies that are navigating life, right? They're just getting started. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. How can the audience connect with you?
You can follow me on all social sites, Dr. Latoya Abram-Payton. Just look it up and it'll pop up on Google. And please visit my websites. My first one, my e-commerce is PaytonPlaceLLC.com. That's PAYTON Place LLC.com. And then my nonprofit, which is very near and dear to my heart, is AcceptingProsperityInc.org. That's accepting ACCEPTING ProsperityInc.org.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for being here on today. We'll have to have you back again to really see where things are going and how it's working out as well. And you talked about that gala, so I want to hear some more about that.
I want to invite you. I want to extend my invitation. It's going to be June 12th of 2027. My birthday.
Awesome. Oh, go ahead now. That's what I'm talking about. I absolutely love that. Well, thank you so much for being here. It has definitely been a pleasure. Thank you all for tuning in to Iconic Leaders, where we just don't build brands, we build blueprints for generations. Remember, icons aren't born. They're built by those bold enough to lead unapologetically. Until next time, keep leading, keep building, and keep breaking every limitation.
Yes.
This is Iconic Pioneers. Hear the story unfold, where the fearless lead and the truth gets told. Every voice legendary, every lesson precise. How filled with wisdom, Dr. Tabatha Russell on the mic. Press play. Stay ready. The movement starts now.